Right, what is going on, people? We have the 2009 R6 here. It had these massive, great big, I think they are carbon fibre. You can tell by looking at them, and the fact that now they've not heated up anymore, they've gone to a solid state again. But basically, long story short, they were on there, and while they're good for protecting, to be honest with you, I've got long legs, big knees, and trying to grip here just wasn't very nice. So taking these off, because I'm also changing the paint, because the paint all started peeling off when I removed the tank sticker that was on it. So I thought, let me get everything stripped off, get it back down to OEM. Right, so been stripping the paint off the tank. I've now just unclipped everything from the tank and unbolted it, so we should just be able, there we go, take that off. And then what I'm going to do now is probably do it inside, to be fair, because the sun's beaming outside and it's hot as hell. But we need to take the glue off, so we need to take all this glue off here. We need to nylon wheel brush off all of this, and then we'll literally cover this end in paint stripper, get it all scraped off, and then, well, literally need to just sand it over. I need to drain the fuel, because I need to take the fuel foam out, and I need to obviously do around the fuel cap. But yeah, be good to go then. Right, so I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but as I was trying to get the tank ready, fuel started to leak out inside the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 bolts out and see if I can tip the fuel into something. If not, then I'll take the fuel pump off the bottom and see if we can get it out that way. If not, then we'll figure that out when we come to it. But at the minute, I'm struggling to get a good place to set the camera up so you guys can see. So what I'll do is I'll get all these bolts out, I'll get the fuel drained, and then I will come back once I am starting to clean the tank off. Right, so managed to get them bolts out. We had a bit of a struggle with one of them being rounded, but we can now pull the fuel pump out. Hopefully, don't want to yank on it, but does it come out a certain? Right, I don't want to yank on this, and you guys aren't going to be able to see, and I need to get down better, so I'll come back once I've got it out. Right, so I just had to watch a quick video about it, because I've never removed one of these before. But basically, you do that, and you get your flat head, and you have to decompress one of these bits, and then it should, he says, should come out. Right, so there we go. Got that out and off and apart. All looks pretty good. Oh, still got fuel in it. Right, let's try to think where I can put this somewhere safe. Let's put these in here for now. And then I'm going to go grab some gloves and take that fuel foam out. Right, so this has actually got, okay now, you know what, I need to keep it somewhat clean, because I might reuse it, because it actually looks really decent. Jesus. Crazy how much fuel it soaks up. Still loads of fuel in there. Now I did try and empty it all out before doing this, but I couldn't, so just working with what we got. And then that stuff I should just be able to pour out in a second. Oh, God, Jesus. Right, that's now all out, so I should hopefully just be able to pour it all out. Oh, there we go. I don't know why somebody's painted. Yeah, I don't know why somebody's painted this part of it, because to me it just seems like a lot can go wrong if you paint somewhere like here. Like all of that gunk going in there now. I'm hoping. Should just be able to peel all that off. Right, let's get this side cleaned off and then get this paint removed, because yeah, then the next steps. So just filmed it, it was short because my cameras were dead, but I thought I'd now give you guys some proper footage. So we have got the Genolite, yeah, Genolite, sorry, English is terrible, crap at reading. The original industrial paint strength paint stripper. I said that wrong, I know, but hey. So, give it a good shake, and then I'm literally just going to cover the entire thing. Probably should have left this, but hey ho. We'll paint it all. And that should already be, yeah, already able to just scrape that stuff off. As you can see, it just comes off with ease. Go again. Because we haven't got a lot left, so I need to be sort of conservative of how I use it. But I'll just show you guys how it works. And then literally, I will just leave that to sit until it's done doing what it needs to do. And then I will come back and show you guys me scraping it all off. But as you can see, it's literally just starting to dissolve everything. As you can see the blue running. Right, so it's been a couple of minutes now. I'm literally just going to lightly scrape over it so you guys can see how easy it is to use and remove this stuff. Literally no pressure at all applied. If I do apply some pressure, we can literally scrape off layers at once. And then that's literally, the paint just turns, or basically back into a paint again. Just, yeah, to complete mush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish scraping all this off, and then I'll come back when I come to doing the sanding of the full tank, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get you guys in a good enough angle and scrape it off. So yeah, let me crack on with that, and then I'll come back to you guys once I've done it. So as you can see, I've left it for a little while. Now literally just scrape straight off. Layers and layers of paint. I was thinking, who wants maybe a video of all the bikes, show you guys what I've got and stuff like that. I think that could be an interesting video. Might be able to ride them all because only one of them's road legal, but yeah, could definitely throw together some videos. As you can see, we're down to the red already, and this was black maybe 10 minutes ago. So I mean, this sort of stuff, to be fair, I could probably get the little... That does make things a lot easier. Oh, getting in them little small like crevices and that. So it's been about a week since we've done anything to the fuel tank, as in any video wise. I've done little bits and bobs taking the paint off because, well, it's literally taking me a few hours every night, and I thought there's no point recording all of that because it would just be probably like an hour's worth of time lapse of me removing paint, which I've already got some clips of. But we are now pretty much ready for paint. I literally have got a tiny bit there, tiny bit down there, and I think there's a small amount, yeah, small amount there. So I'm going to get that done now, and then we're going to de-rust the tank because of the humidity recently. The tank's decided to rust, so I need to strip that back basically, which I'm hoping won't be too hard because it should just be some surface rust because, well, you can see how it's gone quite rusty. So let's cut to that. So I've just spent the last couple of hours, well, not the last couple of hours, on and off the last couple of hours, because obviously I have to apply the paint stripper and then I tend to leave it for half an hour or so because I find that it just eats away at it way better. So what I've done is I've gone around the areas that still had bits left. There's still a tiny bit in the top of the fuel tank bit there, like where the fuel cap actually sits. But then if you come to down here, we have it's basically all gone now. There obviously will still be some little bits and bobs like on here and stuff like that. But that will be for me to sort out when I sand it. I've also figured out that the little bits of rust that are on it, if I can apply the paint stripper onto the rust and just work it around for a couple of minutes and then wipe it off, it does actually clean the tank back to a standard silvery, metally finish, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so I'm literally going to finish getting the top of the fuel tank scraped off, and then I'm going to go on to actually cleaning up the tank, getting the bits sanded down, and then we'll head to primer. Right, so I've finally got as much paint off of this fuel tank as I can. I'm not doing any more paint stripping on it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take my paint stripper and then I'm going to apply it to all the areas that are rusty. I'm just going to work section by section and give it a brush over, basically use it. Woohoo! Chair I'm sat on almost fell then. Using one of these, literally just going to use that and just brush around the tank, get as much of the rust off as possible. And then after that, we'll go on to sanding. So literally, I'm just going to get the bottle and then I'm just going to pour a little bit on. I say a little bit, it's quite a bit, but... And then we're literally just going to work it in as good as we possibly can. I haven't really got any better brushes, otherwise I would use something a bit rougher, but as you can see, it's already working exactly how we want it to. Just got to make sure you also get into the little areas like that. Like, the difference in that is it's pretty much how it was when I first took the paint off. I'm just hoping that I can get it all primer today, because if I don't, then it means that this might rust again. So need to work quick-ish, to be honest. But then if we now go to that side, again, I'm literally just going to do the same technique. Pour a bit on. Doesn't need to be perfect because it will be lightly sanded afterwards, just to remove any imperfections, little bits of paint still on there or anything like that. There's pretty much no rust left on that at all now. So now that the fuel tank's clean, we're going to take some methylated spirits and a fresh cloth, and we're going to give it a complete wipe over, degrease, wipe down, make sure all of that residue's off. Then we'll give it a light sand, then we'll wash it off again, and then we're ready for primer. So realistically, not a million miles away now. Still a lengthy process, but not a million miles away. So literally we're just gonna get this, and then all I'll do is I'll do that onto a cloth. Might be better off wearing some gloves, but do that onto a cloth, and then literally just wipe over the entire tank, and then hopefully you should get the majority of all that crap off. So just onto the cloth like that, and then just give the entire thing a wipe over. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff, so you don't have to worry about using too much or too little. So I've taken off pretty much, I think, all of the residue. I'm still going to go over it just once or twice more, because then make sure that everything's off of it. So now we have fuel tank. It's pretty much ready to go, bar a tiny bit of sanding. So yeah. Right, so we're now going to use this ultra fine sanding pad from Halfords, probably about a 300 to 400 grit. We're going to dry sand it because I don't want to wet sand it and the heat and that cause the tank to rust when we've just cleaned it. So I'm going to give it a dry sand with this, just a light over to key it in so the etching primer has even like more grip as such, and just to get them last little spots of rust off. So yeah, we'll do that, and then we need to wipe it all down again, and then we are ready for primer. So literally, all I'm going to do is just lightly sand over it. Just take them last little bits of stuff off, basically. That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to polish it, trying to get it absolutely like shining back at you. Just trying to get them last bits of rust. You can see that I'm just literally just taking off like a thin layer of stuff and just working in the sections. And when there's a little bit more residue or a little bit more rust, I'm just going that tiny bit harder with it. But other than that, pretty much minimal effort. So normally you would use like a paddle wipe or something like that, but this is all I've got. So I've sanded it down now. I'm going to give it a little spray onto a cloth with this, give it a wipe over just to degrease it, and then we're going to use the isopropyl, can't say it properly, basically use this to then finish the clean off, and then we are ready for paint. There's still little bits inside the top there that I might actually try and get now quick. Alright, so first things first, I'm literally going to get a cloth, spray some of that on, and then just give that a wipe over, and then just to dry off as well, just so we're not leaving any wet residue on the tank to even try and rust. And then once again, a little spray, wipe over the entire thing, and draw at the same time. And as you can see, it's probably a couple of areas that I'll have to just go over again like that, just to finish getting all of that residue off. A couple of places in here, like here, that I'm not really too sure how well the paint's going to stick, so we're just going to have to see. You can see there's still a little bit here as well. So quick little, light little scratchings, and it's straight off. And then we'll just do this side. As you can see, pretty much good. At the top, we'll do there. Have a little spray, and then just a complete wipe down. Don't forget to get your edges as well. This side's a tiny bit worse than the other side was. I need to be pretty quick with this because I think we're going to get rust again soon. Now I'll grab this stuff. And to be honest with you, with this stuff, I'm just gonna pour it on. Because it keeps going clear and then a little bit rusty again by the looks of it, so I need to get the primer on it ASAP. So let's fucking do that, shall we? We've now got the etch primer, and the etch primer basically is primer used to help stick to the metal, and then we'll put another primer over the top of that. So you're going to do one light base coat and then probably 2 heavier coats after that. But we're just giving it a shake, as you can hear. Got the 3D printed nozzle on, and then we're literally just gonna So as you guys can probably already tell, I am not the best at spray painting, and it is windy, so it does make it a lot harder. So it's probably not going to be the best primer job, but it will do for a track bike. Basically, just going to add 2 more coats on now, and then we'll go on to the next lot of primer. As you can tell, it's very windy, so it's hard for me to get an even coat. So we're now moving on to a high build primer. Now that everything is fully etch primed, it's like a rough sort of primer basically. And then we're literally, so we'll do again 2 to 3 coats of this. So unfortunately, I had a little problem with the primer I applied last night, and I had to sand it all back, go buy some more primer, prime it again, because it was too hot, and the spray had basically dried like sandpaper, and it basically dried within a couple of seconds of it laying onto the surface. So we had to give it a sand back, a re-primer. So we're now at the stage of being ready for paint. I've just primed it, gave it all the sand down with an 800 grit, and then what I'm going to do, and then I've wiped it with the isopropyl, with the IPO. I'll say the word right one of these times, but anyway, now we will get ready for paint. Well, no, we're ready for paint, so I'm going to get my camera, put on a tripod, and then we'll get to painting.